They tried to steal an elderly widow's home over a mailbox painted the wrong shade, leaving her homeless for daring to resist. Behind it was a ruthless HOA, wielding obscure rules and legal loopholes to prey on the vulnerable and silence dissenters. But Clara Thompson had a son, and he didn't just fight back, he became a judge. What unfolded next will shock you, as justice finally caught up with those who thought they were untouchable. After 50 years of waking before dawn, grading papers by lamplight, and comforting nervous second graders, Clara Thompson retired from teaching. She didn't throw a party or shed tears on her last day. She simply exhaled, walked out of the school, and let silence envelop her. Widowed for over a decade, Clara lived frugally, not out of necessity but by choice. Every spare dollar went toward a dream, a home of her own, where no one could dictate her life. At 73, she found it, a pale yellow cottage in Mesa, Arizona, with 2 bedrooms, a small garden, and a weathered picket fence. It had a bench under a mesquite tree, perfect for morning tea with a book. She called it her sanctuary. Her son, Nathan, helped her settle in, joking that it looked like a movie set. Clara laughed, making him promise Sunday lunches together. She hung family photos, planted roses, and painted her mailbox a soft lavender. Neighbors waved, the postman smiled, and crickets hummed each evening. For the first time, Clara felt she'd found peace. Then the letters began. 3 weeks after moving in, a thick envelope arrived from the Cactus Hills HOA. Violation notice, mailbox painted unauthorized color. Fine $75. Clara, unfamiliar with HOAs, thought it was a mistake. Lavender was calming, not offensive. She paid the fine to avoid trouble. But more notices followed. $50 for an unauthorized bird feeder, $95 for improper lawn edging, $120 for non-conforming curtains, $60 for a non-compliant garden gnome. The language was cold, precise, and relentless. Each letter felt like a jab, as if an invisible eye watched her every move. Clara called the HOA, hoping to speak to someone. A curt voice insisted that all communication be in writing. She studied the 92-page HOA handbook, its rules so granular they dictated curtain opacity and wreath size. It wasn't guidance, it was a trap. She removed the bird feeder, replaced the curtains, and paid every fine, but the letters kept coming. By month 6, they were threats. Failure to address violations will result in escalated enforcement. The fines grew vague. Landscape deficiencies, aesthetic disruption, and the balance soared. Clara's sense of belonging crumbled. This wasn't about aesthetics, it was control, quiet and ruthless. Then came the letter that stopped her heart. In a red-stamped envelope, it read, "Balance due, $1,643. Non-payment within 21 days will initiate foreclosure proceedings. You may lose your home." Clara, who never missed a bill in her life, stared at the words. She'd saved for this house, her refuge, and now it was slipping away without a single meeting or explanation. She hired a lawyer, but he withdrew, citing a conflict of interest. Later, she learned his firm worked for the HOA. Alone, humiliated, Clara realized the system wasn't built to protect her. It was built to devour her. The fines didn't stop. Clara stored the letters in a shoebox, not from neglect but despair. She trimmed the garden, repainted the mailbox beige, but the HOA's demands only grew. One morning, a private security contractor chained her gate, taped the windows, and changed the locks. A notice declared her a trespasser on her porch. Her roses were trampled. With nowhere to go, Clara gathered 2 grocery bags of belongings, a few clothes, pills, a worn novel, and checked into a rundown motel. The flickering vacancy sign and creaking door felt like a betrayal of her life's work. Nathan got the call that night. Clara's voice, usually steady, cracked with shame. He caught a red eye from Chicago, arriving to find her in a dingy motel room, eyes swollen, trying to smile. "They locked it," she whispered. "They said I was trespassing." Nathan's stomach churned. How could anyone seize a paid-off home? He called lawyers, advocates, anyone who'd listen. Most didn't return his calls. Others said the HOA was within its rights. One laughed. The board always wins. That night, watching Clara curl up on a lumpy mattress, Nathan's anger crystallized. If the system crushed his mother, he'd learned to dismantle it. Nathan wasn't a lawyer, but he was relentless. He requested the HOA's financials, denied. He knocked on neighbors' doors. Some whispered of their fines, oil stains they didn't cause, aggressive curtains, a child's bike deemed illegal. One woman, a wheelchair-bound veteran, lost her home over a $300 gutter fine that ballooned to $9,000. Nathan dug deeper, tracing court records, deeds, and foreclosures. A pattern emerged: the elderly, alone, vulnerable, targeted. The same law firm, Carver Vostone, represented the HOA. The same judge signed the orders. The HOA president, Victor Hayes, a former real estate mogul with a shady past, appeared in a photo with the judge, grinning on a fishing boat. This wasn't incompetence, it was a predatory machine, cloaked in community standards. Nathan quit his job and enrolled in law school. While classmates eyed corporate jobs, he had one goal: to destroy the system that robbed his mother. Clara suffered a stress-induced stroke, leaving her frail. Nathan cared for her, studying by night, fueled by coffee and rage. He read HOA bylaws like battle plans, worked pro bono cases, and helped others fight back. By graduation, he wasn't just a lawyer, he was a force. He opened Thompson Legal Defense in a cramped office, a rose print from Clara's old home above his desk. His first win: dismissing a $9,800 fine for planting sunflowers. The client wept, Nathan just nodded. Word spread. Seniors, veterans, and widows sought him out. Nathan founded Home Defense Alliance, a nonprofit to shield homeowners from HOA abuse. Stories poured in: fines for lavender instead of mulch, threats over wheelchair ramps, demands to repaint during chemotherapy. A national TV segment called him the lawyer taking on HOA tyranny. Whistleblowers emerged, exposing inflated fines, fake meetings, and soft target lists. Nathan filed motions, exposed corruption, and won case after case. Then, a disabled veteran's home was seized over a $120 weed fine. Nathan's courtroom victory, using the HOA's own rules against them, set a precedent: no foreclosures on medically impaired homeowners without alternatives. The governor offered him a housing court judgeship. Nathan accepted, not for prestige, but to fix the system from within. Years later, as Judge Nathan Thompson reviewed a routine docket, a file stopped him cold: Cactus Hills HOA v. Margaret Evans, 82, facing eviction for a wind chime and potted succulents. The signatures, Victor Hayes, Carver Vostone, were ghosts from his mother's nightmare. The same HOA, same tactics, same cruelty. Nathan could have recused himself. Instead, he issued a bombshell: a stay on all Cactus Hills foreclosures, an audit of their finances, and a review of past rulings. The courtroom fell silent. The gavel's echo carried weight. The fallout was seismic. Federal agents raided the HOA's strip mall office, uncovering fake reports, hidden payments, and memos calling residents non-performing assets. 6 board members were arrested for fraud, extortion, and conspiracy. Carver Vostone was disbarred, sued by 120 residents. The HOA's charter was revoked, deemed a predatory structure. Margaret Evans kept her home, her wind chimes untouched. Clara's house was restored, and the foreclosure was ruled illegal. She held the keys, smiling quietly, her roses blooming again. Judge Nathan Thompson doesn't call it a victory, he calls it a repair. He presides over the system that once ignored his mother's pain, ruling with law and memory. Each case is a redemption, for Clara, for Margaret, for the invisible. He walks past Clara's garden, her roses wild and untrimmed, a testament to resilience. They tried to bury her with paper and greed, but her son watched, learned, and became a flame, not to destroy, but to light the way for every home, every life, told they don't matter. What do you think? Was Nathan's fight a triumph of justice, or did he push too far? Should HOAs have this much power, or are they a necessary evil? Share your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear your take on this shocking story and what it says about fairness in our communities. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more stories that spark debate.